All right, let's get one thing straight from the beginning. Each and every one of you has the potential to achieve greatness. It does not matter where you came from, what obstacles you have faced, or how many times you have stumbled along the way. The power to accomplish anything you set your mind to lies within you. The question is, are you willing to tap into that power? Are you ready to break free from the shackles of self-doubt and embrace the belief that you are capable of achieving the extraordinary? Because let me tell you, that belief is the first and most crucial step on the journey to success. Too often, we allow our fears and insecurities to hold us back. We listen to that little voice in our heads that tells us we are not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough to go after our dreams. But here's the truth. That voice is nothing but a liar, a thief that robs us of our potential and keeps us from reaching our full capabilities. It's time to silence that voice once and for all. It's time to start acting like the unstoppable force you were born to be. Because when you truly believe in yourself, when you carry yourself with the confidence and determination of a person who knows they can achieve anything, that's when the impossible becomes possible. Imagine what you could accomplish if you approached every challenge, every obstacle, with the mindset of a champion. Imagine how your life would transform if you refused to let fear or doubt dictate your actions. That's the power of acting like you can achieve anything. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but how can I possibly act like I can achieve anything when I have failed so many times before? Listen closely, because this is important. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary stepping stone on the path to greatness. Every successful person you admire, every trailblazer who has left their mark on the world, has experienced failure time and time again. But they did not let those failures define them or derail their journey. Instead, they learned from their mistakes, picked themselves up, and kept pushing forward with unwavering determination. That's the kind of resilience and grit you need to cultivate within yourself. Because when you truly believe in your ability to achieve anything, setbacks become mere speed bumps, obstacles to be overcome rather than insurmountable barriers. So how do you cultivate that belief? How do you start acting like you can achieve anything, even when the odds seem stacked against you? Well, it starts with taking ownership of your thoughts and actions. Are you surrounding yourself with people and influences that uplift and encourage you? Or are you allowing negativity and doubt to seep into your mind? The truth is, your environment plays a massive role in shaping your beliefs and mindset. If you are constantly bombarded with messages of limitation and scarcity, it's going to be incredibly difficult to maintain an abundance mindset and believe in your ability to achieve greatness. On the other hand, when you intentionally surround yourself with positive influences, with people who believe in you and support your dreams, it becomes easier to adopt that same unwavering belief in yourself. So, take a good look at the people and influences in your life. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? It might be time to make some changes and start surrounding yourself with a tribe that will fuel your fires of ambition and belief. Speaking of tribes, one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is the art of association. You see, when you associate yourself with successful, driven individuals who have achieved the kind of goals you aspire to, something incredible happens. Their mindset, their belief in themselves, starts to rub off on you. You begin to adopt their way of thinking, their unwavering confidence, and their unshakable belief that they can achieve anything they set their minds to. So, make it a point to seek out mentors, role models, and peers who embody the kind of mindset and level of achievement you want to attain. Learn from them, absorb their wisdom, and most importantly, allow their belief in themselves to inspire and ignite your own. But let's be real for a moment. Acting like you can achieve anything is not just about positive thinking and surrounding yourself with the right people. It's also about taking massive, consistent action towards your goals. Because at the end of the day, belief without action is nothing but a pipe dream. What are you doing daily, weekly, monthly to work towards your dreams and aspirations? Are you showing up and putting in the work, even when it's tough, even when the results aren't immediately apparent? Because that's the true test of belief. The willingness to put in the effort day after day, regardless of setbacks or obstacles. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a journey, a continuous process of growth, learning, and perseverance. And the more you act like you can achieve anything, the more you'll find yourself actually achieving the things you once thought were impossible. But it's not just about achieving external goals and accolades. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, about unlocking your full potential and living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Because when you truly believe in your ability to achieve anything, you start to see the world through a different lens. Obstacles become opportunities. Challenges become chances to grow and evolve. And fear becomes nothing more than a momentary hurdle on your path to greatness. So I challenge you, no, I implore you, to start acting like you can achieve anything today. Silence that voice of doubt and limitation. Surround yourself with positive influences and successful mentors. Take massive, consistent action towards your dreams. And above all, believe in yourself with every fiber of your being. Because when you do, when you truly embrace the belief that you can achieve anything, the world will open up to you in ways you never thought possible. Doors of opportunity will swing open, and you'll find yourself living a life that once seemed like nothing more than a distant dream. The path to achieving anything you want in life is not an easy one. It's a journey paved with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt that will test your resolve time and time again. But that's precisely why you must act like you can achieve anything, because it's that unwavering belief, that unshakable mindset that will see you through even the toughest of challenges. Think about it. What separates the truly successful from those who merely dream of success? It's not talent or luck, my friends. It's the ability to stare adversity in the face and say, "You do not scare me. I will overcome you. Just watch." It's the courage to take risks, to venture into the unknown, armed with nothing but the belief that you have what it takes to conquer whatever stands in your way. And let me tell you, that courage, that audacity to dream big and act even bigger is something that can be cultivated within each and every one of you. It's not a trait reserved for the chosen few. It's a mindset, a way of being that you can embrace and embody starting today. But here's the catch. Acting like you can achieve anything is not just a switch you flip on and off whenever it's convenient. It's a way of life, a daily commitment to showing up as the best version of yourself, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's about developing an unbreakable resilience, a strength of character that allows you to bounce back from setbacks and failures with even more determination and grit than before. Because let's be honest, failure is an inevitable part of the journey. No one, and I mean no one, achieves greatness without stumbling along the way. But it's not the stumbles that define us. It's how we respond to them that truly matters. Will you let failure discourage you, convincing you that your dreams are too lofty, your goals too ambitious? Or will you use it as fuel to reignite your fire, to push even harder towards the life you know you were destined to live? The choice is yours, but if you want to join the ranks of the truly successful, the trailblazers and game changers of this world, then you must embrace failure as a teacher, a guide on your path to greatness. Because every failure, every setback is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to refine your approach until you finally break through and achieve that which you once thought was impossible. And that's the beauty of acting like. You can achieve anything. It's not about blind optimism or delusional thinking. It's about cultivating an unwavering belief in yourself that is grounded in reality. A belief that says, I may not have all the answers right now, but I have the determination and the grit to figure it out no matter what. So, ask yourself this, are you showing up every day with that level of commitment and tenacity? Are you putting in the work? even when the results aren't immediately apparent, because you know that it's the consistent effort, the relentless pursuit of your goals, that will ultimately lead to success. If not, then it's time to make a change. It's time to start acting like the unstoppable force you were born to be, to approach each day with the mindset of a champion who knows that they can achieve anything they set their mind to. And I'm not just talking about professional or financial success, although those are certainly worthwhile pursuits. I'm talking about achieving greatness in every aspect of your life. In your relationships, your health, your personal growth, and your ability to leave a lasting, positive impact on the world around you. Because when you truly believe in your ability to achieve anything, you start to see life through a different lens. Obstacles become opportunities for growth. Challenges become chances to test your mettle, and setbacks become stepping stones on your path to greatness. So embrace that mindset. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, who believe in your dreams as much as you do. Seek out mentors and role models who have walked the path you aspire to, and learn from their wisdom and experiences. But above all, never, ever lose sight of the fact that you have the power within you to achieve anything you set your mind to. It's not going to be easy, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But that's when you must dig deep. Tap into that unwavering belief and remind yourself that you are an unstoppable force, capable of overcoming any obstacle that stands in your way. Embrace that belief, my friends. Live it, breathe it, embody it in every fiber of your being. Because when you do, when you truly start acting like you can achieve anything, that's when the impossible becomes possible and your wildest dreams become reality. The choice is yours. Will you continue to settle for a life of mediocrity and unfulfilled potential? Or will you take the leap, commit to acting like the unstoppable force you were born to be, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible? The path ahead will not be easy, but I promise you it will be worth it. Because at the end of the day, the greatest achievement of all is not the accolades or the material possessions. It's the person you become, the legacy you leave, and the knowledge that you lived a life true to your highest potential. Achieving anything you want in life is not just about setting lofty goals or dreaming big dreams. It's about taking massive, consistent action every single day, inch by inch, step by step, until those dreams become a reality. Because let me tell you something, the path to greatness is not a sprint, my friends. It's a marathon, a test of endurance that will push you to your limits time and time again. But that's exactly why you must act like you can achieve anything. Because when you adopt that mindset, when you carry yourself with the unwavering belief that you are an unstoppable force capable of conquering any obstacle, something incredible happens. You develop a resilience, a grit that allows you to keep pushing forward even when the going gets tough. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone with immense talent or potential fall by the wayside? Their dreams left unfulfilled, all because they lack the mental fortitude to power through the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come with pursuing something great? On the other hand, how many times have you witnessed someone with seemingly average abilities achieve extraordinary things simply because they refuse to give up, refuse to let doubt or fear hold them back? You see, my friends, it's not always the most talented or gifted among us who achieve the greatest heights of success. More often than not, it's those who possess an unbreakable spirit, a relentless drive to keep going no matter what life throws their way. And that's exactly the kind of mindset you need to cultivate within yourself if you truly want to act like you can achieve anything. It's about developing an unwavering belief in your ability to overcome any obstacle, to find a way through even the most daunting of challenges. Because let's be real, the path to achieving your dreams will be filled with roadblocks, detours, and moments that will test your resolve to the very core. There will be times when you feel like giving up, like throwing in the towel and settling for a life of mediocrity. But it's in those moments of doubt and struggle, that you must dig deep and tap into the power of your belief. You must remind yourself that you are an unstoppable force, capable of achieving anything you set your mind to, no matter how impossible it may seem. And you know what? When you truly embrace that mindset, when you start acting like you can achieve anything, something incredible happens. Doors of opportunity start to open, paths that were once hidden from view begin to reveal themselves, and the impossible slowly but surely becomes possible. Because when you carry yourself with that level of belief, when you approach every challenge with the mindset of a champion, you start to attract the right people, the right resources, and the right opportunities into your life. It's like the universe conspires to help you achieve your goals, simply because you have shown that you have the unwavering determination and belief to see it through. But let me be clear, acting like you can achieve anything is not just about positive thinking or blind optimism. It's about taking massive, consistent action day in and day out towards the life you want to create. Because here's the harsh truth, belief without action is nothing but a pipe dream, a hollow promise that will never come to fruition. You can believe with every fiber of your being that you can achieve anything, but if you do not back that belief up with hard work, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of your goals, then it's all for naught. So ask yourself this, what are you doing every day to move closer to your dreams? Are you showing up and putting in the work even when it's tough, even when the results aren't immediately apparent? Or are you coasting by, telling yourself that belief alone is enough? If it's the latter, then it's time to make a change. My friends, it's time to start acting like the unstoppable force you were born to be, to match your unwavering belief with unwavering action. Because when you do, when you combine that unshakable mindset with a commitment to taking massive, consistent steps towards your goals, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start to see progress, breakthroughs, and victories that once seemed impossible. And let me tell you, there's no greater feeling than achieving something you once thought was out of your reach, simply because you refused to give up, refused to let doubt or fear hold you back. But it's not just about achieving external goals or accolades, my friends. Acting like you can achieve anything is about becoming the best version of yourself, about unlocking your full potential and living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Because when you truly embrace that mindset, when you show up every day as the unstoppable force you know you are, something incredible starts to happen. You become more confident, more resilient, and more attuned to the limitless possibilities that surround you. Suddenly, obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become mere speed bumps on your path to greatness. Challenges that once filled you with dread become opportunities to test your mettle and grow even stronger. And setbacks, those inevitable setbacks that come with pursuing anything worthwhile, become nothing more than temporary detours on your journey to success. But you know what? That's exactly what you want, my friends. Because it's those moments of adversity, those trials by fire, that forge you into the person you were born to be. Someone who acts like they can achieve anything because they've proven time and time again that they can. So, embrace those challenges, my friends. Seek them out even, because it's in those moments of struggle, of pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible, that you truly learn what you are made of. And when you come out on the other side, victorious and stronger than ever before, that's when you'll know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Because at the end of the day, that's what this journey is all about. Not just achieving external goals or accolades, but becoming the best version of yourself, someone who lives life with purpose, passion, and an unwavering belief in their ability to conquer whatever challenges come their way. So, go forth, my friends. Act like you can achieve anything, because you can. Believe in yourselves, surround yourselves with those who uplift and inspire you, and never ever give up on your dreams. The path ahead won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because when you finally reach those heights of greatness, when you stand tall as someone who achieved the impossible, you'll look back on this moment and feel a sense of pride and accomplishment that few ever get to experience. You'll know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are an unstoppable force capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. And that, my friends, is a feeling that is truly priceless. My friends, let me ask you something. What is it that you truly wanted to achieve in this life? What are those big, audacious dreams that have been burning inside you, waiting to be unleashed upon the world? Do you want to be able to build a business empire that leaves a lasting legacy? To write a best-selling novel that touches the hearts and minds of millions? To climb to the top of your field, becoming a trailblazer and innovator in your industry? Or perhaps your dreams are more personal. To find true, lasting love and build a family. To achieve optimal health and vitality. To make a positive impact on your community or the world at large. Whatever it is that sets your soul on fire, I want you to hold that vision in your mind's eye. Feel the weight of that dream, the magnitude of what it would mean to make it a reality. Now ask yourself this: are you truly living each day as if you can achieve that dream? Are you showing up with the unwavering belief that you have what it takes to turn that vision into your reality? Or are you allowing doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs to hold you back, to keep you playing small and settling for a life that falls far short of your true potential? If it's the latter, then it's time for a change, my friends. It's time to start acting like the unstoppable force you were born to be. Someone who knows, deep in their core, that they can achieve anything they set their mind to. Because here's the thing, when you adopt that mindset, when you start living and breathing the belief that you can achieve anything, something incredible happens. The impossible slowly but surely starts to become possible. Doors of opportunity that were once closed start to creak open. Paths that were once hidden from view begin to reveal themselves. And the universe itself seems to conspire in your favor, aligning circumstances and resources to help propel you towards your goals. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That sounds all well and good, but how do I actually cultivate that level of belief? How do I start acting like I can achieve anything when I've been bogged down by doubt and limiting beliefs for so long? Well, my friends, it starts with taking a hard look at the stories you have been telling yourself, the narratives that have been shaping your reality and holding you back from reaching your full potential. Are you constantly beating yourself up over past failures or mistakes? Telling yourself that you are not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough to achieve your dreams? If so, it's time to let go of those toxic stories and start rewriting the narrative of your life. Because the truth is, those stories, those limiting beliefs, are nothing but lies. Lies that have been keeping you trapped in a cycle of mediocrity and unfulfilled potential. It's time to replace those lies with a new, empowering narrative. One that reminds you of your worth, your capabilities, and your innate power to achieve anything you set your mind to. So start telling yourself a different story, my friends. A story of resilience, determination, and an unwavering belief in your ability to overcome any obstacle that stands in your way. Remind yourself of the times you have faced adversity head-on and come out stronger on the other side. Recall the moments when you defied the odds and achieved something that once seemed impossible. Because those moments, those victories, are proof positive that you have what it takes to achieve anything you want in life. They are the seeds of belief that you can nurture and grow into an unshakable mindset, one that propels you forward with confidence and purpose. But cultivating that belief is not just about changing the stories you tell yourself. It's also about surrounding yourself with the right people and influences. You see, my friends, the company you keep has a profound impact on your mindset and belief. If you are constantly surrounded by negative influences, by people who doubt your dreams and reinforce your limiting beliefs, it's going to be incredibly difficult to maintain an abundance mindset and believe in your ability to achieve greatness. On the other hand, when you intentionally surround yourself with positive, uplifting people who believe in you and support your goals, something incredible happens. Their belief in you starts to rub off, fueling your own sense of self-belief and unwavering determination. So take a good hard look at the people in your life. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Are they encouraging you to dream big and act like you can achieve anything? Or are they reinforcing your doubts and limiting beliefs? If it's the latter, then it might be time to make some tough decisions and distance yourself from those negative influences. Surround yourself instead with a tribe of like-minded individuals who share your vision, your drive, and your unwavering belief in the power to achieve anything. And while you're at it, seek out mentors and role models who have already achieved the kind of success you are striving for. Learn from their experiences, their mindsets, and their strategies for overcoming obstacles and persevering through challenges. Because when you immerse yourself in the energy and belief systems of those who have already achieved greatness, something incredible happens. Their mindset starts to become your mindset. Their belief in themselves starts to become your belief in yourself. It's like you are tapping into a wellspring of unwavering self-belief, drawing strength and inspiration from those who have walked the path before you and proven that achieving anything is possible. But let me be clear. Acting like you can achieve anything is not just about positive thinking or surrounding yourself with the right people. It's also about taking massive, consistent action towards your goals day in and day out. Because here's the harsh truth. Belief without action is nothing but a pipe dream, a hollow promise that will never come to fruition. You can believe with every fiber of your being that you can achieve anything, but if you do not back that belief up with hard work, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of your goals, then it's all for naught. What are you doing every single day to move closer to your dreams? Are you showing up and putting in the work even when it's tough, even when the results aren't immediately apparent? Or are you coasting by telling yourself that belief alone is enough? If it's the latter, then it's time to start acting like the unstoppable force you know you are. Time to match your unwavering belief with unwavering action, to approach each day with the mindset of a champion who knows that success is earned through sweat, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to their goals. Because when you combine that unshakable mindset with consistent, focused effort, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start to see progress, breakthroughs, and victories that once seemed impossible. And let me tell you, my friends, there's no greater feeling than achieving something you once thought was out of your reach, simply because you refused to give up, refused to let doubt or fear hold you back. It's in those moments of triumph, of standing tall as someone who acted like they could achieve anything and then made it a reality, that you'll truly understand the power of belief. Not just belief in yourself, but belief in the limitless potential that lies within each and every one of us. Because when you act like you can achieve anything, when you live and breathe that mindset every single day, something incredible starts to happen. You become more confident, more resilient, and more attuned to the limitless possibilities that surround you. Suddenly, obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become mere speed bumps on your path to greatness. Challenges that once filled you with dread become opportunities to test your mettle and grow even stronger. And setbacks, those inevitable setbacks that come with pursuing anything worthwhile, become nothing more than temporary detours on your journey to success. But you know what? That's exactly what you want. Because it's those moments of adversity, those trials by fire, that forge you into the person you were born to be, someone who acts like they can achieve anything, because they've proven time and time again that they can. How many of you wake up in the morning and immediately start thinking critical thoughts about yourselves? You look in the mirror and the negative self-talk begins, I'm not good enough, I'll never achieve my goals, I don't have what it takes to be successful. If this sounds like you, I want you to stop that kind of thinking right now. You're sabotaging yourself before you even get started each day. Instead, you need to learn to appreciate yourself for the unique, gifted, talented, and amazing person that you are. When you truly appreciate yourself, you give yourself permission to live up to your incredible potential. But too many people have been conditioned to think negatively about themselves from an early age. Maybe you had overly critical parents or teachers who planted those seeds of self-doubt and insecurity. Maybe you grew up in a culture that values modesty and humility over self-confidence and belief in your own abilities. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's time to unlearn those negative thoughts and feelings about yourself. You owe it to yourself and to those who depend on your success to shift into an attitude of radical self-appreciation. When you appreciate yourself fully, you give yourself the gift of being able to appreciate others as well. How can you possibly appreciate the talents and efforts of those around you if you can't even see the incredible gifts you possess yourself? Let me ask you this. If you had $1 million in the bank and for some crazy reason you didn't know about it, would that $1 million be able to do anything for you? Of course not. You'd still be going about your life, struggling to make ends meet, stressing over bills, never taking advantage of the incredible abundance that's just sitting there untouched. It might as well not even exist if you don't know about it and appreciate that it's yours. Well, that's the situation so many of you are in right now when it comes to appreciating yourselves. You are incredible wealth creation machines. You have a mind that is capable of developing million-dollar ideas. You have a heart that can radiate the kind of infectious energy that inspires everyone around you to rise up. You have talents and skills that are incredibly valuable in this world, and yet you move through life tragically unaware of your own amazing worth. Isn't it time you got to know and appreciate the incredible person you really are? Wouldn't it be life-changing to fully embrace and take ownership of your talents instead of discounting them or assuming everyone else has been blessed with similar gifts? The greatest achievers and innovators in this world don't think the way you may be thinking about yourselves. They wake up every morning with the ability to clearly see their own self-worth. That mindset of radical self-appreciation is what fuels them to take chances, be bold, and ultimately change the world around them. So how do you get to that place of fully appreciating yourself? It starts with consciously deciding that today is the day you're going to leave behind the negative self-talk and self-doubt. Whenever you catch yourself thinking or saying something critical about your abilities, skills, or efforts, you have to immediately cancel that thought. Visualize a big stop sign and refuse to let that unhelpful, destructive thinking take root in your mind any longer. Instead, make the conscious choice to replace those negative thoughts with positive reminders of your worth. Maybe it's reciting your achievements out loud. Maybe it's making a list of all the things you're actually really good at. Maybe it's watching inspiring videos of people who overcame incredible odds through self-belief. Whatever it takes, you have to crowdsource reasons to feel proud of yourself and optimistic about your potential. Part of appreciating yourself is being able to look back at how far you've already come. We all tend to be so focused on where we have left to go that we minimize or completely overlook the obstacles we've already conquered. Take some time today to reflect on everything you've already pushed through and achieved in your life so far. If you're truly honest with yourselves, I think you'll be amazed at the mental toughness, resilience, persistence, and courage you've already demonstrated to get to this point. Remind yourselves that the same abilities that got you through past challenges and adversities will be there for you going forward. Appreciating yourself also means letting go of the unhealthy and unrealistic expectation of perfection. So many of you beat yourselves up constantly because you've bought into this idea that you need to be perfect in order to be impressive or successful. You focus so much on your flaws and faults that you completely lose sight of everything you do well. But here's a little secret. Being human means being imperfect. Every single person you admire is imperfect. They just don't let their imperfections stop them from taking risks, putting themselves out there, and working to make their dreams happen. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to let go of your need for perfection and instead focus on making progress one day at a time. Appreciate the efforts you're making rather than the destination you've envisioned. Fall in love with the person you're continually evolving into, imperfections and all. because it's those imperfections that make you relatable and human. They give you character and relatability. And if you can learn to appreciate yourself at this imperfect phase of your personal journey, imagine how powerful your self-appreciation will be when you've elevated yourself even further. At the end of the day, everything you want to achieve in this world starts with your ability to wholeheartedly appreciate yourself exactly as you are right now. When you pour love and belief into yourself, you'll cultivate the self-confidence and courage to go after your biggest goals. You'll find it easier to see solutions instead of obstacles in your way. You'll be able to persist through challenges and setbacks because you'll believe in your core ability to figure things out. Opportunity will seem to gravitate towards you because you'll be operating with the positive, upbeat energy of someone who expects good things to happen. So don't wake up tomorrow and start beating yourself up over all the things you think you're lacking or all the ways you've fallen short of your own expectations. Wake up tomorrow and truly appreciate the gifted, brilliant, one-of-a-kind person that you are right now in this moment. Because when you master the art of appreciating yourself fully, you'll finally start living up to your incredible potential in ways you can't even yet imagine. The world is waiting for the talents you have to offer, but only you can unlock them by believing you're worth it. Oh, I know what some of you might be thinking. Jim, this all sounds great in theory, but how can I actually start practicing real self-appreciation in my daily life? I get it. We're so conditioned to be self-critical that learning to appreciate ourselves fully can feel unnatural at first. But I'm here to tell you, it's one of the most important skills you'll ever develop. The first step is to become aware of that negative inner voice that loves to beat you down and tear you apart. You know the one I'm talking about? That little nagging voice that says you're not good enough, you'll never achieve your dreams, you don't have what it takes. That voice has been your constant companion for so long that you've gotten used to just believing everything it says without questioning it. But here's the truth. That negative internal chatter is nothing more than self-limiting fear disguised as facts about your identity and potential. And fears are just thoughts. They're not objective truths about you or your circumstances. So stop treating that negative self-talk like the voice of reason or wisdom. It's exactly the opposite. Instead, I want you to start consciously talking back to that negative inner critic. When it starts piping up and planting seeds of self-doubt, I want you to ask yourself, is this thought really true and factual, or is it just fear trying to hold me back? Because 9 times out of 10, it's your fears doing the talking, not an objective evaluator of your skills and potential. And then go one step further. Replace that negative, fearful thought with a positive self-appreciating statement that is rooted in truth about your abilities and journey so far. If the negative thought is, I'm terrible at public speaking and I'll never be good at it, cancel the thinking and replace it with, I'm making progress every day at improving my public speaking abilities, and my clients have already complimented the positive changes they've seen. Or if the negative thought is, this project is too big for me to handle, I don't have what it takes, replace that with, I've successfully completed major projects before, and the same skills, determination, and creativity that saw me through then will serve me again now. Making that mental shift from listening to your fears to amplifying the truth about your talents and capabilities is critically important, because that negative inner voice wants you to stay small and play it safe. It wants you to appreciate your flaws and inabilities, because then you'll never risk anything in life. But your positive, self-appreciating inner voice wants you to succeed beyond your wildest dreams. It's trying to motivate you to embrace your strengths and talents so you can use them to their full potential. So who are you going to listen to? The negative, self-sabotaging voice that wants to keep you comfortably trapped in fear and inertia? Or the uplifting, encouraging voice that wants to propel you into confidence, growth, and incredible achievement? The choice really is yours. When you start making a habit of canceling out those negative thoughts and replacing them with sincere self-appreciation, it's amazing how quickly your motivation and self-belief start to be rebuilt and reinforced. You'll start feeling that contagious energy and enthusiasm that allows you to pursue your goals with a totally new sense of optimism and vigor. Self-appreciation is one of those self-perpetuating mindsets. The more you practice it, the more evidence you'll start to see of your abilities and potential. And the more you start achieving, the easier it becomes to respect and appreciate yourself because you're proving your talents through real results. But it all starts with making that conscious decision to shift your focus away from insecurity and self-criticism and towards reminding yourself of all the impressive skills, gifts, and accomplishments you've demonstrated so far in your life's journey. Stop focusing on where you think you fall short and start meditating on all the ways you've already proven yourself capable, resilient, and talented. Let me give you an example of how powerful this can be. I'm sure we all know someone who has achieved extraordinary levels of success and seemed to radiate unshakable confidence. Maybe it was an entrepreneur who built a massive business empire, or a professional athlete at the peak of their career, or a famous artist, inventor, or creative genius. Now, we look at the stratospheric level of success that person reached, and we assume they must have been blessed with some sort of superhuman self-belief and confidence from day one. But here's the thing. That person once started off at a similar point of struggle and insecurity that we're all familiar with. The difference is, at some point, they made a profound inner shift to start identifying, owning, and appreciating the talents and abilities they had inside themselves. They made the conscious choice to take full ownership of their gifts rather than discounting them or assuming they were commonplace. And then they made the daily choice to keep reminding themselves of those talents through consistent self-appreciation. And it was that self-perpetuating cycle of believing in themselves that ultimately gave them the fuel to manifest their incredible successes. So if others can achieve that elevated level of self-appreciation and use it to unleash their fullest powers, you can do it too. You have just as much potential for greatness inside of you. You have skills, talents, abilities, and gifts that are unique to only you. And the degree to which you own and appreciate those talents is the degree to which you'll be able to maximize them and leverage them into success and fulfillment. When you appreciate yourself fully, you give yourself permission to dream bigger. You give yourself the courage to take chances that once seemed too risky. You give yourself the grit and determination to persist through obstacles because you deeply believe in your ability to figure things out. You start showing up in life as your biggest, boldest, most authentic self. And that's incredibly powerful and inspiring to everyone around you. So let this be the day you make that profound inner shift to start appreciating yourself at the deepest level. Decide right now that you're no longer going to be an accomplice to the negative, self-sabotaging thoughts holding you back. Decide that from this point forward, you're going to be intentional about reminding yourself of all the reasons you're an amazing person with incredible gifts to offer this world. Because when you operate from that space of radical self-love and self-appreciation, you give yourselves access to the best version of who you are. You start showing up differently in your business, your relationships, your personal goals. You start showing up as someone who unapologetically owns their talents and skills rather than making excuses for them. You become magnetic to the kinds of opportunities and successes you used to think were only possible for other people. My friends, you were put on this earth for a reason. You have an important contribution to make that only you uniquely can. But you'll never be able to access the full depth of your talents, abilities, and potential until you get out of your own way. Until you stop listening to the negative self-doubting voices and start focusing on a steady stream of heartfelt self-appreciation. So if you're ready to finally start making that shift, if you're ready to move past playing small and tentative and start living with bold confidence in yourself, let today be the first day of your journey. Don't wait another second to start waking up to the remarkable person you already are and giving yourself the gift of fully appreciating those gifts. Your self-appreciation will be your launch pad to start living the biggest, most extraordinary life you can envision for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the greatest achievers, the most impactful leaders, the happiest and most fulfilled people are all united by one thing: an unwavering ability to appreciate themselves at the deepest level. Will you choose to join their ranks and finally unlock your fullest potential? The choice is yours, but I truly hope you make the decision to appreciate the incredible person you are today. You've got this. I think it's important to address one of the biggest mental roadblocks that often prevents people from embracing true self-appreciation. There's this pervasive idea out there that appreciating yourself fully is somehow arrogant or conceited. That if you start talking positively about your talents and abilities, you'll come across as boastful or egotistical. But I'm here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, having a lack of self-appreciation is far more arrogant than confidently owning your talents and skills. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you constantly diminish or deny the gifts you've been blessed with, you're essentially saying that you know better than the Creator who bestowed those talents upon you. It's an arrogant stance that says, yeah, I have all these amazing abilities, but they're not really that impressive or worth appreciating. Think about that for a second. You're creating abilities that shape the entire reality we experience as human beings. You designed the biological intricacies of the human body and all its incredible functions. You encoded the mathematical laws and principles that govern the entire cosmos. You sculpted towering mountain ranges, vast unexplored oceans, and stellar superclusters of epic proportions, and you chose to gift a portion of that unfathomable creative genius to each of us in the form of our unique talents and capabilities. Yet so many of us arrogantly dismiss and diminish those divine gifts that have been entrusted to us, as if we have a higher intelligence and authority than the Creator, that we can decide our talents aren't really that impressive or worth appreciating. Can you see how egotistical and conceited that mindset is? We're essentially saying, yeah, I've got all these abilities that are infused with genius far beyond my own comprehension, but they're not really that special, and I don't need to fully appreciate them. It's the height of arrogance. The truly humble stance is to look at the incredible skills you've been blessed with and say, wow, these talents are awesome, and I'm going to fully appreciate them out of deep gratitude and respect for the genius that created them within me. That is the mindset of humility, of recognizing that your gifts have been divinely bestowed upon you, and you owe it to their Creator to steward them with utmost care, appreciation, and reverence. When you appreciate yourself and your talents to the fullest, you're honoring the sacred wisdom and benevolent creativity that chose to bless you with those remarkable abilities. You're essentially saying, I respect the process and the genius behind these gifts enough to make the most of them and not let them go to waste. On the flip side, not appreciating your talents and skills is like receiving an incredibly generous gift from someone and then treating it like it's nothing special. It's disrespectful to the giver and their generosity. It's the height of self-important arrogance to decide that you somehow know better than the greatest creator in the cosmos, and that your talents aren't really worth nurturing and appreciating. So I want you to permanently get rid of this idea that confident self-appreciation is arrogant or big-headed. Just the opposite is true. When you unapologetically own and take pride in your skills and abilities, you're operating from a stance of humility and respect for the divine process that fashioned those gifts within you. True arrogance is deciding that those incredibly purposeful talents don't actually deserve your full gratitude, nourishment, and appreciation. By not appreciating yourself, you're essentially overriding and second-guessing the wisdom that your very existence is imbued with. Talk about arrogant. Please, I'm begging you, don't make that spiritually arrogant mistake any longer. Don't arrogantly dismiss your gifts out of some sense of false humility. True humility lies in respecting yourself and your talents enough to steward them with full care, nurturing, and appreciation. True humility recognizes that you are not the source of your talents. You are simply the blessed vessel that has been entrusted with them. So honor the divine trust by giving your abilities the nurturing appreciation they deserve. Don't take them for granted or assume they're nothing special. Recognize them for the sacred gifts that they are. And then show your utmost gratitude and humility by pouring your energy into fully developing and maximizing those gifts through radical self-appreciation. Because appreciating yourself to the fullest capacity is the only way to reach your fullest potential and live your life's highest purpose and mission. As long as you keep dismissing and diminishing your talents, you'll be living an arrogant, spiritually defiant stance that your gifts aren't worth nurturing. But the second you start giving your abilities the full appreciation and care they deserve, you'll be honoring the divine wisdom behind their existence with utmost humility and respect. So I'll ask you again, are you going to keep arrogantly insisting that you know better than the greatest creator in the cosmos? That your abilities and talents don't deserve your full awareness, care, and appreciation? Or are you going to adopt the truly humble mindset of being in awe and reverence for the gifts you've been blessed with and show your utmost gratitude by appreciating them wholeheartedly? The choice is yours, but I caution you, don't let misplaced ideas about humility and arrogance keep you from unleashing your fullest potential, because at the end of the day, the most arrogant and disrespectful stance you can take is to not appreciate the divine genius that has been entrusted to you through your remarkable talents and abilities. Step into the humble self, appreciation you were destined for. The choice is yours. But I caution you, don't let misplaced ideas about humility and arrogance keep you from unleashing your fullest potential. Because at the end of the day, the most arrogant and disrespectful stance you can take is to not appreciate the divine genius that has been entrusted to you through your remarkable talents and abilities. Step into the humble self, appreciation you are destined for. Let me be very clear about this. Downplaying or dismissing the gifts you've been blessed with is an act of egotistical arrogance. It's you essentially saying the talents I've been given aren't really that extraordinary or worthy of my full care and attention, as if you have some higher wisdom and authority than the greatest creative force in the universe that purposefully imbued you with those unique abilities. True humility walks hand in hand with radical self-appreciation, because when you wholeheartedly appreciate yourself and your talents, you're exercising humble reverence for the sacred wisdom that fashioned those gifts within you. You're honoring the divinely orchestrated process that made you wonderfully talented in your own special. It would be the height of arrogance to look at your incredible skills and dismiss them as being commonplace or insignificant, as if you could somehow improve upon the genius-level design that allowed your unique strengths to manifest within you. Any lack of self-appreciation is an affirmation of your own deluded arrogance. A hubristic stance that you know better than the master creator of your talents. So I'm calling on you today to permanently banish that arrogant, self-sabotaging mindset of dismissing your gifts. It's an insult to the divine process you emerged from. It's spiritually arrogant to treat the talents you've been blessed with as unimportant or unworthy of your devotion. Humility lies in studying yourself with profound awe and appreciation, marveling at the unique handiwork of a sacred intelligence that created your incredible abilities. Being struck with wonder and gratitude that such wisdom took the time and care to purposefully encode your one-of-a-kind mix of skills, gifts, and potential within your very DNA. And then from that place of humility, saying these talents are far too precious and purposefully designed for me to neglect or dismiss them any longer. I'm going to nurture and steward these gifts with the utmost care, respect, and daily appreciation they deserve. When you decide to fully embrace that level of self-appreciation, you're honoring the humble, reverential place you were designed to reside at. You're tapping into alignment with your highest calling to use your unique talents in service of something greater than yourself, to unleash the fullest expression of the divine creativity that birthed you into existence. Anything else is arrogance disguised as humility. The person who downplays their gifts out of some skewed perception of staying humble is being misguided by their own ego, not honoring true humility. So let me ask you again, which path will you choose? One of arrogantly dismissing and minimizing the special talents you've been entrusted with, essentially overriding your own humble design? Or one of embracing deep self-appreciation and awe for the magic that conspired to gift you with your unique genius? The choice is yours, but I sincerely hope you'll commit to anchoring into real humility by recognizing and nurturing those sacred talents within yourself every single day. Because that consistent practice of self-appreciation is the only way you'll unleash the fullest amplification of the divine wisdom that created you. When you operate from that place of genuine humility intertwined with radical self-love and self-appreciation, you align with your highest purpose. You start experiencing guideposts that affirm you're flowing in the direction you were destined to move towards. Synchronistic events and chance encounters seem to materialize that provide momentum for your journey. Doors open with apparent orchestration behind them. It's as if you tune into the same resonant creative frequency that originates your talents. And from that aligned place, you start co-creating your reality in partnership with those same intelligent forces. Your humble self-appreciation becomes a spiritual instrument that attracts and magnetizes to you all the forces, resources, relationships, and circumstances required for you to blossom into your highest expression. This is the promise and power of true humility, wed with consistent self-appreciation, of getting over yourself and your egoic uncertainty, and instead rooting into the humble reverence of aligning with the divine genius that formed you in its image. When you do that, you start operating from that higher wisdom, rather than the arrogant delusions of your self-limiting fears and insecurities. So many of history's most impactful leaders, innovators, and influential figures tapped into this synergy of radical humility combined with radical self-appreciation. They stopped looking at their talents with arrogant dismissiveness. They started looking at themselves with profound awe and wonder, asking, how can I be an amazing steward of these incredible gifts I've been entrusted with? And from that resonant state of appreciation and humility, they literally co-created world-changing inventions, earth-shattering philosophies, culture-shifting artistic expressions, and more. Not because of their arrogant self-aggrandizement, but because they recognized the sacred duty to maximize their potential through consistent, humble self-appreciation. My friends, that same opportunity is available to you. There is no special formula or genetic superiority that allowed those individuals to tap into that powerful synergy. You have just as much access to humbly appreciate and maximize your own divine talents and abilities. All it takes is that conscious decision today to trade arrogant self-dismissal for authentic humility rooted in wholehearted self-appreciation. I know it can feel deeply uncomfortable or unnatural at first to fully honor and nurture your gifts, especially if you've spent years downplaying them or living in insecurity about your skills and potential. It can feel almost egotistical to start amplifying self-appreciation after so much time stuck in patterns of self-doubt and self-criticism. But I'm here to remind you that operating from that place of radical self-love and appreciation is always the truest path of humility, of honoring the divine wisdom that intentionally encoded your talents inside you for a special purpose, of celebrating rather than dismissing the miracle of your own existence and the gifts you've been blessed with. The arrogance is rooted in denying your talents and handicapping yourself from accessing the fullest version of your human potential. Humility resides in your willingness to consistently steward and nurture those talents through intentional practice of daily self-appreciation. So please, I urge you, choose humility from this day forward. Stop arrogantly dismissing yourself as anything less than the amazing, talented, gifted individual you were divinely designed to be. Get out of your own way and surrender to the truth that you are incredibly blessed with limitless creative potential. And then make the courageous, humble commitment to nurture and honor that potential by being in a perpetual state of self-appreciation for the talents you've been entrusted with. Recognize and celebrate the miracle of your abilities. Spend time in awe of all the reasons you are extraordinarily gifted, and let that humble self-appreciation be the catalyst for expressing your highest expression in this life. When you reside in that state of authentic, appreciative humility towards your skills and potential, you align yourself with the same infinite wisdom that created you, and from that resonant place, you become almost superhuman in your ability to create, innovate, inspire, and impact the world around you. So today, make the choice to step into that highest version of yourself, rooted in humility and consistent self-appreciation. Strip away all the layers of arrogance, self-dismissal, and insecurity you've accumulated over the years. And approach yourself and your talents with the same childlike awe and wonder you once had before doubts and criticisms took hold. Look at your abilities and be humbly amazed at the magic that conspired to bless you with those incredible gifts. And then fully appreciate and nurture those talents out of a place of deep reverence for the sacred wisdom that created them within you. Do that, and you'll experience indescribable fulfillment, achievement, and creative expansion in catalyzing your greatest human potential. The choice to anchor in humble self-appreciation unlocks dimensions of energy, genius, and wisdom that will astound you. All that's required is your willingness to finally celebrate and honor the brilliant masterpiece of talents you've been blessed with without arrogance or self-dismissal any longer. Good evening, everyone. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself a question that may seem simple yet profound in its implications. Can I truly be happy alone? This is not just a rhetorical question, but a journey into the depths of our own hearts and minds. The pursuit of happiness is often tangled with the presence of others, with external achievements and validations. But tonight, let's explore a different path, a path where happiness begins and ends within you. Imagine for a moment a life where your contentment and joy are not contingent on the presence of another, where your sense of fulfillment is not a borrowed ray of sunshine from someone else's sky, but a light that radiates from within you. This is not just a mere fantasy. It's a possible reality, a state of being that we can all achieve with understanding and effort. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Is this about isolating ourselves from the world? Absolutely not. This is about discovering the untapped well of happiness that resides within us, independent of the external world. It's about learning to enjoy your own company, to value your own thoughts and dreams as much as you value those of others. This journey is about finding that serene balance where being alone does not mean being lonely. In our lives, we play many roles, be friends, partners, colleagues. We are social beings, craving connections and interactions. But amidst these connections, we often lose sight of the most crucial relationship we will ever have, the relationship with ourselves. We forget to listen to our inner voice, to nurture our inner world, and to appreciate the beauty of our own solitude. You see, being happy alone doesn't negate the joy of relationships. Instead, it enhances them. When you are content with yourself, when you appreciate your own presence, you bring a stronger, more authentic self to your relationships. Your happiness becomes a gift you share, not a gift you seek from others. To embark on this journey of self-contentment, we must first peel away the layers of societal expectations and norms. We must unlearn the idea that solitude is something to be avoided, that being alone means being incomplete. We must embrace the concept that our happiness is our own responsibility, not someone else's. In the coming moments, let's explore together how we can cultivate this inner joy, this self-sufficiency and happiness. Let's learn to appreciate the silence, the peace, and the profound clarity that comes when we are alone with our thoughts. Let's discover how being happy alone is not just a skill, but a profound strength. So as we embark on this journey tonight, I invite you to open your minds and hearts to the possibility that the best company you can ever have might just be you. in our journey towards finding happiness in solitude. The first and perhaps most crucial step is self-reflection. Self-reflection is the mirror through which we see not just our face, but our soul. It's about asking ourselves those hard questions, confronting our true feelings, and understanding the depths of our desires. Why is self-reflection so vital, you might wonder? It's because within each of us lies a vast, uncharted territory of potential and understanding. Many of us go through life without really getting to know who we are. We define ourselves by our jobs, our relationships, our roles in society, but strip away those titles, those external markers. And who are you? What are your passions, your fears, your dreams? That fire within you. These are not just questions. These are the keys to unlocking your true self. In the hustle bustle of our daily lives, we seldom take the time to just be with ourselves, to listen to the whispers of our heart. We are so busy chasing life that we forget to live it. Remember, being busy is not the same as being productive, and being alone is not the same as being lonely. It's in those quiet moments of solitude that we can hear our inner voice the clearest. That voice is your most honest guide, your most sincere friend. It tells you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Self-reflection is not always a comfortable journey. It requires honesty, vulnerability, and courage. It requires us to face our insecurities, our fears, and sometimes our past mistakes. But my friends, growth is not found in comfort. Just as a seed must break through its shell to grow, we too must break through our barriers to find our true selves. Now, how do we embark on this path of self-reflection? It starts with solitude. Solitude provides us the space and silence necessary for introspection. It's in this silence that we can disconnect from the noise of the world and connect with our inner world. Solitude is not about loneliness. It's about being in your own presence and enjoying it. Start by setting aside time for yourself each day, even if it's just a few minutes. Use this time to meditate, to journal, to contemplate. Ask yourself questions like, what makes me happy? What are my values? What do I want my life to stand for? These questions might seem daunting at first, but as you explore them, you'll begin to uncover the layers of your being. Remember, the journey of self-reflection is not a race. It's not about finding quick answers. It's about starting a lifelong conversation with yourself. It's about learning to understand and appreciate your complexities, your contradictions, and your uniqueness. As you grow more comfortable in your solitude, you'll find that your relationship with yourself begins to change. You'll start to appreciate your own company. You'll find joy in your own thoughts, your own dreams. This is the essence of being happy alone. It's finding that inner harmony, that peace that doesn't depend on external factors. And this journey of self-reflection, it not only leads to self-contentment, but also enriches every aspect of your life. When you know yourself, you make choices that are in alignment with your true self. Your relationships become more genuine because you bring the authentic you to them. Your work becomes more fulfilling because it resonates with your inner values. So I encourage you, embrace the solitude, embrace the journey of self-discovery, for in knowing yourself, you open the door to true happiness, a happiness that is complete in itself, a happiness that doesn't need validation or company to exist, a happiness that is truly, uniquely yours, our own. Let us now turn to the stories of individuals who have found strength, peace, and happiness in their solitude. These are not just stories, but testaments to the power of embracing one's own company and the transformative journey of self-discovery. Consider the story of Anna, a young woman who always found herself in the company of others, never alone. She thrived on social interactions and constantly sought approval and affirmation from those around her. However, when circumstances led her to a phase of life where she was forced to be alone, Anna was confronted with a reality she had never known. Initially, the solitude was daunting, even frightening. But as days turned into weeks, Anna began to explore her own interests, her own thoughts, and her own dreams. She started painting, something she had always wanted to do but never had the time or courage to pursue. In the quiet of her own presence, she found a passion that had been waiting to be discovered. Anna's story teaches us that within the layers of solitude, we can uncover hidden talents and passions that have been dormant. Then there's the tale of Michael, a successful businessman who seemed to have it all but thriving career, a bustling social life, and a loving family. Yet amidst all this, Michael felt a void, an emptiness that he couldn't explain. It was only when he began to spend time alone, reflecting on his life, that he realized what was missing, a connection with himself. In his pursuit of success and recognition, Michael had lost touch with his own desires and dreams. Through solitude, he reconnected with his love for writing, a dream he had set aside in his youth. He started writing a novel, a process that not only brought him immense joy, but also a sense of fulfillment that he hadn't felt in years. Michael's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes, in the pursuit of building a life, we forget to live the life we are building. And let's not forget about Emma, a college student who always felt overshadowed in a group, never quite finding her voice. It was in her moments alone, studying in the library or walking through the park, that Emma found her strength. She realized that her quiet nature was not a weakness, but a strength. In her solitude, she found clarity of thought and a strong inner voice. She started writing her thoughts, which turned into a blog that resonated with many who felt just like her. Emma's journey shows us that solitude can be a powerful ally in finding our voice and our calm. These stories, each unique in their own right, share a common thread, the discovery of self-worth and happiness in solitude. Anna, Michael, Emma, and many others like them have shown us that being alone does not mean being less. It means having the courage to face ourselves, to explore the depths of our being, and to find joy in our own company. These stories are not just narratives. They are mirrors reflecting our own potential. Each one of us has a story waiting to be written, a journey waiting to be embarked upon. In our solitude, we are the authors of our story, the sculptors of our destiny. We have the power to transform our solitude from a state of loneliness to a state of self-discovery and contentment. So I urge you to see solitude not as a void, but as a canvas where you can paint your dreams, write your thoughts, and sculpt your happiness. Let these stories inspire you to embrace your solitude, to listen to your inner voice, and to find the joy and strength that lies within. Remember, the journey to being happy alone is not about shunning the world or discarding relationships. It's about building a relationship with yourself that is so strong, so fulfilling, that you can enjoy your own company just as much as you enjoy the company of others. It's about finding a balance where your happiness is not solely dependent on external factors, but is also rooted in your inner world. In our quest to learn, to be happy alone, a vital component is personal development. Personal development is not just about acquiring skills or knowledge. It's about evolving into the best version of ourselves. It's a journey that is deeply personal, infinitely rewarding, and a cornerstone of finding joy in our own company. Why is personal development so crucial in this journey? Because the relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of all the relationships in your life. When you invest in yourself, you are not just improving skills or expanding knowledge. You are nurturing your soul, you are honoring your existence. Personal development is the soil in which the seeds of self-contentment and happiness grow. This journey of personal development starts with self-awareness. It's about understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your passions and fears. It's about looking within and asking yourself, what makes me tick? What do I need to grow? What do I want to? This level of introspection is the first step towards meaningful growth. Next is the pursuit of your passions. Everyone has something that sets their soul on fire, something that gives them immense joy. It might be painting, writing, cooking, programming, teaching. The list is endless. The key is to identify that passion and pursue it. Remember, your passion is your personal treasure, a source of joy that is uniquely yours. When you engage in activities that you love, you are not just passing time. You are enriching your soul. Another aspect of personal development is expanding your knowledge and skills. This doesn't necessarily mean formal education. It could be as simple as reading books, attending workshops, learning a new language, or even mastering a new hobby. The goal is to keep your mind active, curious, and engaged. An engaged mind is a happy mind, one that finds joy in exploration and learning. Let's not forget the importance of physical well-being and personal development. Taking care of your body is just as important as nurturing your mind. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and sufficient rest are not just good for your body. They are crucial for your mental and emotional well-being. When you are physically healthy, you are more capable of enjoying your solitude, more equipped to pursue your passions. Now, personal development is not always a smooth journey. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but these are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for growth. Every challenge you overcome, every obstacle you conquer makes you stronger, more resilient. It builds your character, enhances your self-esteem, and boosts your confidence. Remember, personal development is a continuous process, a lifelong journey. It doesn't have an end point. It's about constant growth, constant evolution. It's about becoming a little better each day, not just for yourself, but also for those around you. When you are the best version of yourself, you bring that best to everything you do and to everyone you interact with. So embrace personal development as a key to unlocking your happiness in solitude. Invest time and effort in understanding and improving yourself. Explore new interests, learn new skills, take care of your body and mind. In doing so, you will find that being alone is not a state of emptiness, but a state of opportunity, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to flourish. In the next part of our speech, we will delve into overcoming the fear of loneliness. But for now, let this thought resonate with you. Personal development is not just a journey. It's an adventure where you are both the traveler and the destination. In our quest to learn to be happy alone, a vital component is personal development. Personal development is not just about acquiring skills or knowledge. It's about evolving into the best version of ourselves. It's a journey that is deeply personal, infinitely rewarding, and a cornerstone of finding joy in our own company. Why is personal development so crucial in this journey? Because the relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of all the relationships in your life. When you invest in yourself, you are not just improving skills or expanding knowledge. You are nurturing your soul. You are honoring your existence. Personal development is the soil in which the seeds of self-contentment and happiness grow. This journey of personal development starts with self-awareness. It's about understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your passions and fears. It's about looking within and asking yourself, what makes me tick? What do I need to grow? What do I want to learn? This level of introspection is the first step towards meaningful growth. Next is the pursuit of your passions. Everyone has something that sets their soul on fire, something that gives them immense joy. It might be painting, writing, cooking, programming, teaching. The list is endless. The key is to identify that passion and pursue it. Remember, your passion is your personal treasure, a source of joy that is uniquely yours. When you engage in activities that you love, you are not just passing time. You are enriching your soul. Another aspect of personal development is expanding your knowledge and skills. This doesn't necessarily mean formal education. It could be as simple as reading books, attending workshops, learning a new language, or even mastering a new hobby. The goal is to keep your mind active, curious, and engaged. An engaged mind is a happy mind, one that finds joy in exploration and learning. Let's not forget the importance of physical well-being in personal development. Taking care of your body is just as important as nurturing your mind. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and sufficient rest are not just good for your body. They are crucial for your mental and emotional well-being. When you are physically healthy, you are more capable of enjoying your solitude, more equipped to pursue your passions. Now, personal development is not always a smooth journey. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But these are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for growth. Every challenge you overcome, every obstacle you conquer makes you stronger, more resilient. It builds your character, enhances your self-esteem, and boosts your confidence. Remember, personal development is a continuous process, a lifelong journey. It doesn't have an end point. It's about constant growth, constant evolution. It's about becoming a little better each day, not just for yourself, but also for those around you. When you are the best version of yourself, you bring that best to everything you do and to everyone you interact with. So embrace personal development as a key to unlocking your happiness in solitude. Invest time and effort in understanding and improving yourself. Explore new interests, learn new skills, take care of your body and mind. In doing so, you will find that being alone is not a state of emptiness, but a state of opportunity, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to flourish. In confronting the fear of loneliness, it's crucial to cultivate a mindset that sees solitude not as a burden, but as an opportunity for introspection, for creativity, for personal growth. The mind is a powerful tool, and how we perceive our alone time can dramatically influence our experience of it. One transformative approach is to see solitude as a space for creativity and innovation. History is replete with examples of great thinkers, artists, and leaders who found their most profound ideas in moments of solitude. When we are alone, free from distractions and external influences, our minds can wander, explore, and create in ways that are not possible in the company of others. Embrace these moments as your personal workshops for creativity. Another aspect of overcoming loneliness is to practice self-compassion. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for feeling lonely, for not being social enough, for not fitting into societal norms of constant connectivity. It's time to replace this self-criticism with self-compassion. Understand that it's okay to feel lonely at times. It's a natural human emotion. What's important is how you respond to these feelings. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge your feelings and remind yourself that you are enough just as you are. Moreover, reframing our thoughts about loneliness can have a profound impact. Instead of viewing alone time as something to be avoided, view it as a rare commodity in today's busy world. In an age where constant activity and connectivity are the norms, solitude becomes a luxury, a space where you can reconnect with your true self, away from the noise and demands of the external world. It's also essential to understand the difference between temporary loneliness and chronic loneliness. While everyone feels lonely at times, chronic loneliness is a deeper, more persistent feeling that might require reaching out for support, whether it's talking to friends, joining community groups, or seeking professional help. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Finally, envision your journey with solitude as a path to self-mastery. In learning to be comfortable with your own company, you develop resilience, independence, and a deeper understanding of who you are. This self-mastery is not just about being alone. It's about being whole. It's about building a life where your happiness is supplemented by others, not dependent on them. As we move forward from here, let's carry with us the understanding that overcoming the fear of loneliness is not an overnight task. It's a gradual process, a journey of self-discovery and acceptance. But every step taken on this path is a step towards a more fulfilled, more resilient, and more joyful self. As we journey through life, one of the most powerful tools at our disposal is our mindset, the way we perceive the world. The attitudes we hold, the thoughts we nurture, these shape our reality more than any external circumstance. In the context of learning to be happy alone, building a strong, resilient mindset is not just beneficial, it's essential. A strong mindset starts with the understanding that happiness is a personal responsibility. It's not something that can be handed to you by someone else. It's something you cultivate within yourself. This realization is empowering. It means that your happiness is not at the mercy of external events or other people's actions. You are the architect of your joy. One key aspect of a strong mindset is positivity. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring life's challenges or pretending that everything is always fine. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, on opportunities rather than obstacles. A positive mindset sees the potential for growth in every challenge, the possibility of learning in every setback. Another cornerstone of a strong mindset is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to adapt to change, to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. It's about having an inner strength that doesn't waver in the face of adversity. Building resilience involves acknowledging your emotions, learning from experiences, and having the courage to step out of your comfort zone. Embracing solitude itself is a practice in building resilience. It involves stepping away from the constant need for external validation and finding validation within yourself. It's about being comfortable in your own skin with your own thoughts. In doing so, you build a mental fortitude that is unshakable by loneliness or adversity. A strong mindset also involves practicing mindfulness and living in the present. Often we are either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, missing out on the beauty of the present moment. Mindfulness teaches us to live in the now, to fully experience and appreciate the present. In moments of solitude, mindfulness becomes a powerful tool, helping us savor the peace and tranquility of our own company. Lastly, cultivating a mindset of gratitude can significantly enhance our ability to be happy alone. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It's about appreciating the small joys, the simple pleasures, and the blessings that we often take for granted. When we practice gratitude, we open our hearts to contentment, joy, and a profound sense of. In summary, building a strong mindset is about cultivating positivity, resilience, mindfulness, and gratitude. It's about taking charge of your inner world, shaping your thoughts and attitudes in a way that empowers you. With a strong mindset, solitude becomes not just bearable, but enjoyable. It becomes an opportunity to recharge, reflect, and grow. As we move forward, let's remember that the strength of our mindset determines the quality of our solitude, and in turn, the quality of our lives. In the next part of our speech, we will explore the role of relationships and community in balancing our love for solitude with our innate need for connection. In our pursuit of happiness in solitude, it's vital to acknowledge the role of relationships and community in our lives. While learning to be happy alone is a crucial aspect of personal growth, it's equally important to recognize the value of our connections with others. The goal is not to replace relationships with solitude, but to find a harmonious balance between the two. First, let's consider the importance of relationships in our lives. Human beings are inherently social creatures. We thrive on connection, empathy, and interaction. Relationships enrich our lives, providing support, love, and a sense of belonging. They are the threads that weave the fabric of our social experience. The key is to approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than a place of need. When you are content with yourself, your relationships become more genuine and fulfilling. You engage with others not because you need their company to escape your loneliness, but because you genuinely appreciate and value their presence in your life. On the other hand, community plays a vital role in our well-being. Being part of a community gives us a sense of belonging, a feeling of being part of something larger than ourselves. It connects us with people who share our interests, values, or experiences. Community involvement can range from participating in local events, joining clubs or groups, volunteering, or simply being an active member of your neighborhood. These interactions enrich our lives, providing a sense of purpose and contributing to our happiness. However, it's important to maintain a balance. Embracing solitude is about enjoying your own company, not about isolating yourself from the world. It's about being comfortable in your own skin with your own thoughts without feeling the constant need to be busy with social interactions. This balance allows you to appreciate both the joy of solitude and the warmth of companionship. Remember, the quality of your relationships often reflects the quality of your relationship with yourself. When you are at peace with who you are, when you enjoy your own company, you bring a sense of self-assuredness and authenticity to your relationships. You become more present, more engaged, and more appreciative of the people in your life. So as we continue to explore the art of being happy alone, let's not forget the beauty of togetherness. Let's cherish our relationships, contribute to our communities, and at the same time savor the moments of solitude that give us space to reflect, grow, and recharge. As we draw near to the conclusion of our journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on the ground we have covered. Our exploration of being happy alone has taken us through the realms of self-reflection, personal triumphs, personal development, overcoming fears, building a strong mindset, and understanding the balance between solitude and community. Each of these elements plays a vital role in crafting a life where solitude is not just endured, but cherished and enjoyed. Remember, learning to be happy alone is a journey, not a destination. It's a continuous process of self-discovery, growth, and acceptance. It's about finding joy in your own company, recognizing your worth, and embracing your individuality. This journey empowers you to bring your best self to your relationships and to the world. As we conclude, I want to leave you with a call to action, a challenge to embrace the lessons we've discussed. Start by dedicating time for self-reflection. Get to know yourself, your passions, your dreams. Embrace your solitude as a time for growth and creativity. Invest in your personal development, pursue your interests, and nurture your mind and body. Challenge the fear of loneliness by changing your perspective on solitude. Practice gratitude for the moments you have with yourself. Seek a balance in your life where you enjoy both the peace of solitude and the joy of companionship. Remember, the strength of your relationships often mirrors the strength of your relationship with yourself. Most importantly, cultivate a strong mindset, a mindset that is positive, resilient, and grounded in the present. A mindset that sees challenges as opportunities for growth and solitude as a space for self-discovery. As you move forward in your journey, know that being happy alone doesn't mean you are isolated from the world. It means you are at peace with yourself, capable of enjoying both your own company and the company of others. It means you have a strong foundation of self-worth and self-love from which you can build meaningful connections and contribute positively to the world. So take this message with you. Let it be a guiding light in your journey towards self-contentment. Remember that the best relationship you can have is the one with yourself. When you are content and happy in your solitude, you bring a sense of completeness to every aspect of your life. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. Remember, the path to being happy alone is unique for each of us, but it's a path worth traveling. It's a journey that leads to self-empowerment, inner peace, and a deeper appreciation for life. You have the strength, the courage, and the resilience to walk this path. Embrace it, cherish it, and let it lead you to a life of fulfillment and joy. Have you ever noticed how we're more afraid of being alone than we are of being unhappy? The silence of an empty room often feels heavier than the weight of unfulfilling relationships. We fill our lives with noise, with people, with endless distractions, anything to avoid facing that quiet moment when it's just us, alone with our thoughts. I've watched thousands of people chase relationships, desperately trying to escape their own company. They jump from one connection to another, convinced that happiness lies in the arms of another person, in the validation of a crowd, in the constant buzz of social media notifications. But here's the truth that many of us aren't ready to hear. If you can't be happy alone, you'll never be truly happy with someone else. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation upon which every other relationship in your life is built. Think about that for a moment. How can you possibly offer authentic love to another person when you haven't learned to love your own company? How can you share joy when you haven't discovered what brings you joy in solitude? Let me share something with you that might sound counterintuitive at first. Loneliness and being alone are two entirely different experiences. Loneliness is a state of mind, a feeling of disconnection that can persist even in a room full of people. Being alone, on the other hand, is simply a physical state. The magic happens when you learn to transform your alone time from something you endure into something you cherish. You see, we've been conditioned by society to believe that being alone is somehow a failure, a sign that something's wrong with us. We scroll through social media, bombarded by images of people supposedly living their best lives, always surrounded by friends, always part of a couple, always in the middle of some exciting social gathering. And slowly, insidiously, we begin to believe that this is what happiness looks like. But let me ask you something. How many times have you felt utterly alone in a crowded room? How many times have you put on a smile while feeling empty inside, desperately trying to convince yourself that being surrounded by people somehow makes you whole? The truth is, learning to be happy alone isn't just about being comfortable in solitude. It's about discovering who you truly are when no one else is watching. It's about developing a relationship with yourself that's so strong, so genuine, that external validation becomes a choice rather than a necessity. Think about the most peaceful moments in your life. Were they really when you were surrounded by chaos and noise? Or were they in those quiet moments when you finally allowed yourself to just be? Those moments when you stopped running from yourself and instead turned inward with curiosity and compassion. We often mistake dependency for love, habit for happiness, and distraction for fulfillment. We've become so afraid of our own thoughts that we'll do anything to avoid sitting with them. But here's what nobody tells you. The very thoughts you're running from hold the keys to your liberation. Every time you reach for your phone, the moment you're alone, every time you fill your calendar to avoid empty spaces, every time you stay in a relationship that doesn't serve you just because you're afraid of being single, you're telling yourself that your own company isn't enough. You're reinforcing the belief that happiness can only be found outside of yourself. But what if I told you that the greatest adventure of your life is waiting for you in those moments of solitude? What if the peace you're seeking, the joy you're chasing, the love you're yearning for, what if all of that begins with learning to be your own best? I remember working with someone who couldn't eat alone in a restaurant. The very thought of sitting at a table by themselves filled them with such anxiety that they'd rather go hungry than face that experience. Does this sound familiar to any of you? This fear of being seen alone? This worry about what others might think? This belief that dining solo somehow marks you as unwanted or unloved? But here's the beautiful truth. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you develop a kind of superpower. You become immune to the kind of manipulation that comes from fear of being alone. You stop settling for less than you deserve in relationships because you know deeply and unshakably that you're already complete. Being happy alone doesn't mean you don't want relationships or connections. It doesn't mean you have to become a hermit or reject the beautiful experiences that come from sharing your life with others. Instead, it means that you approach these connections from a place of wholeness rather than need. You choose them because they add to your already full life, not because they're filling a void. The journey to finding happiness in solitude begins with small steps. It starts with those moments when you catch yourself reaching for your phone and instead choose to sit with your thoughts. It grows stronger every time you do something you enjoy. Not because anyone is watching, not because you'll post about it later, but simply because it brings you joy. Think about the last time you felt truly peaceful. Was it when you were trying to manage other people's expectations? Was it when you were contorting yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be? Or was it in those rare moments when you allowed yourself to simply exist without judgment, without pressure, without the need to be anything other than who you are? The world will try to convince you that you need more. More friends, more followers, more relationships, more validation. But what if what you really need is less? Less noise, less distraction, less dependency on external sources of happiness. What if the key to true contentment lies? Not in accumulating more connections, but in deepening your connection with yourself. I want you to try something right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breathing, the beating of your heart. This is you in this moment, completely whole and complete. This is you without any masks, without any pretenses, without any need to be anything other than who you are. How does that feel? When we learn to be happy alone, we develop an unshakable foundation of self-worth that no external circumstance can destroy. We stop being emotional chameleons, changing our colors to match whatever relationship or social situation we find ourselves in. Instead, we become authentic, consistent, and true to ourselves. Whether we're alone or... This journey isn't about building walls or becoming independent to the point of isolation. It's about building a relationship with yourself that's so strong, so nurturing, that it becomes the source from which all your other relationships flow. It's about becoming so comfortable in your own skin that you no longer need others to make you feel worthy or complete. Here's the simple truth about happiness. It's not something you stumble upon by accident. It's like a garden you need to tend to every day. When you're alone, you have this amazing chance to become the gardener of your own joy. But most of us never learned how to care for our inner garden. We're too busy looking over the fence, wondering why everyone else's flowers seem more beautiful than ours. You know what really gets me thinking? The way we treat ourselves when no one's watching. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you're alone. Are you as kind to yourself as you are to your friends? Do you show yourself the same patience, the same understanding, the same warmth that you offer others? Most of us don't. In those quiet moments, we become our own worst critics. But something beautiful happens when you start seeing your alone time as special instead of scary. You begin to uncover parts of yourself that were drowning in the noise of constant company. Those quiet moments become your personal space for growth and discovery. Have you noticed those people who seem naturally at peace? Whether they're single or in a relationship, whether they're in a crowd or by themselves, they've figured out something important. They've learned to enjoy their own company. They don't wait for others to watch a movie they want to see. They don't need someone else to try that new restaurant. They've discovered that joy doesn't need an audience. The biggest thing stopping us from finding happiness in solitude isn't really about being alone. It's about facing our own unresolved fears. We're scared of what we might discover if we slow down enough to really listen to our own thoughts. We're afraid of the feelings we've been running from, the questions we've been avoiding, the truths we've been hiding from ourselves. But these fears are like shadows on the wall. They look scary until you turn on the light. And that light, it comes from getting to know yourself, from having the courage to sit with your thoughts and really listen to what your heart has been trying to tell you all along. Think about this. Every wise teacher throughout history has talked about the importance of spending time alone. Not because they didn't like people, but because they understood that the clearest insights, the deepest peace, often come in moments of quiet reflection. When you learn to be happy alone, you develop what I call inner strength. This means your happiness comes from within rather than depending on others. You stop being like a leaf in the wind, blown around by other people's approval or attention. Instead, you become your own safe harbor. Let me share something powerful with you. Every time you choose to spend time alone, not because you have to, but because you want to, you're sending yourself an important message. You're telling yourself that your own company is valuable, that you're worth spending time with, that you don't need others to entertain you or make you feel whole. Our world makes it really hard to be alone. We're always connected, always available, always just one click away from some kind of distraction. Social media shows us endless highlights of other people's lives, making us feel like we're missing out if we're not constantly with others, constantly doing something, constantly sharing our experiences. But what if the real missing out happens when we fail to connect with ourselves? What if every moment we spend distracting ourselves from our own company is a moment we could have spent getting to know the most important person in our lives, ourselves? Think about this. When was the last time you felt truly at peace? Not the kind of temporary escape that comes from watching TV or scrolling through social media, but the deep, real peace that comes from being completely comfortable with yourself and your surroundings. For many of us, that's a tough question to answer. We've forgotten how to just be. We've lost touch with the simple joy of doing nothing, of sitting in silence, of enjoying our own thoughts. We've gotten so used to constant noise that the very idea of being alone with our thoughts feels strange, even scary. But here's something interesting. The more comfortable you become with being alone, the more real your connections with others become. When you're no longer hanging on to relationships because you're afraid of being alone, you can choose connections based on what truly fits rather than what's just convenient. Learning to be happy alone isn't about becoming an island. It's about building such a good relationship with yourself that you can approach all of the relationships from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. It's about becoming so comfortable in your own skin that you no longer need others to make you feel worthy or complete. Think about what you look for in a good friend or partner. Kindness, understanding, patience, support. Now ask yourself, do you give these same things to yourself? When you make a mistake, are you understanding or harsh? When you face a challenge, are you support or critical? When you achieve something, do you celebrate or immediately push yourself to do more? The way you treat yourself when you're alone sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you can't spend time by yourself without needing constant distractions, you're sending a clear message about how much you value your own company. But here's the good news. You can change this. Just like any other skill, being happy alone is something you can learn and get better at. It starts with small steps. Maybe it's having lunch at a cafe by yourself, taking a walk without your phone, or spending an evening doing something you enjoy without feeling the need to post about it. Each time you choose to embrace being alone rather than run from it, you're building emotional strength. You're developing the kind of inner peace that can't be shaken by what's happening around you. You're learning that your worth isn't tied to your relationship status, your social calendar, or the number of likes on your latest post. The most amazing thing about learning to be happy alone is how it changes the way you move through life. When you're no longer afraid of being by yourself, you stop making choices based on that fear. You stop staying in relationships that don't make you happy, giving up your values just to fit in, or saying yes when you really want to say no. The most fascinating thing about learning to be happy alone is watching how it changes your choices. When you stop seeing solitude as the enemy, you start seeing it as an opportunity. Those quiet moments become your chance to reset, to breathe, to figure out what you really want, not what everyone else wants for you. You know what's interesting? Many of us spend our whole lives running away from ourselves, then wonder why we feel lost. We fill every moment with noise, with activity, with people, anything to avoid that quiet space where we might actually hear our own thoughts. But those thoughts, they're trying to tell us something important. Think about how often you check your phone when you're alone. Every notification, every scroll, every quick check of social media. What are you really looking for? Most of us would say we're staying connected, staying informed, staying in touch. But what if we're actually hiding? Hiding from the discomfort of being alone with our thoughts? Hiding from the silence that might actually hold the answers we're seeking? Let me tell you something that might change how you see your alone time. Every moment you spend truly connecting with yourself is like putting money in an emotional bank account. These deposits of self-awareness, self-care, and self-discovery, they're the foundation of real confidence. Not the kind of confidence that needs constant validation from others, but the quiet, unshakable kind that comes from truly knowing and accepting yourself. We live in a world that's afraid of silence. Everything around us screams for attention. Buy this, watch this, be like this, look like this. And in all that noise, we've lost something precious. The ability to hear our own inner voice. That voice that knows what we really want, what truly matters to us, what makes our heart sing. Have you ever noticed how some decisions feel completely different when you make them alone versus when you make them with others, watching or weighing in? When you're alone, you can hear your truth more clearly. There's no need to perform, no need to meet expectations, no need to be anything other than who you are. This journey of learning to be happy alone, it's not just about being comfortable eating at restaurants by yourself or spending Friday nights solo. It's about building a relationship with yourself that's so solid, so real, that you no longer need to hide behind the masks we all wear sometimes. It's about becoming the kind of person you enjoy spending time with. You might be thinking, but what about relationships? What about connections with others? Here's the beautiful thing. When you learn to be happy alone, your relationships actually get better. Why? Because you stop choosing them from a place of need or fear. You start choosing them because they add real value to your life, not because they fill a void. Think about the last time you felt lonely in a relationship. Seems strange, doesn't it? Being with someone but feeling completely alone. That's what happens when we use relationships to escape ourselves rather than to share ourselves. When we haven't learned to be happy alone, we often end up using others as distractions rather than creating genuine connections. Every time you resist the urge to fill your quiet moments with noise, you're growing stronger. Every time you choose to sit with your uncomfortable feelings instead of running from them, you're building emotional muscle. Every time you decide to do something alone that you'd usually only do with others, you're expanding your comfort zone. Let me share something with you about comfort zones. They're like muscles. They only grow when we stretch them. Start small. Maybe it's having your morning coffee in silence instead of immediately turning on the TV. Maybe it's going for a walk without your headphones. Maybe it's spending an evening doing absolutely nothing and being okay with that. The quality of your alone time directly affects the quality of your life. When you're comfortable in your own company, you make better choices. You don't say yes when you want to say no. You don't stay in situations that drain your energy just because you're afraid of being alone. You don't settle for connections that don't fulfill you just because they're convenient. There's this myth that happy people are always surrounded by others, always doing something, always on the go, but real happiness, it's not about being constantly surrounded by people or activity. It's about being at peace with yourself, whether you're in a crowd or completely alone. Think about the times you've felt most alive, most authentic, most in tune with yourself. Were those moments when you were trying to be what others wanted you to be? Or were they moments when you were simply being yourself, following your own inner compass? One of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself is, what would I do differently if I wasn't afraid of being alone? Would you stay in that relationship that doesn't feel right? Would you keep those friendships that drain your energy? Would you still do things you don't enjoy just to avoid being by yourself? Learning to be happy alone doesn't mean you'll always be alone. It means you'll never again be in relationships because you're afraid of being alone. It means you'll never again compromise your values because you're scared of losing someone's approval. It means you'll never again settle for less than you deserve because you think having someone, anyone, is better than having no one. You know what's amazing about people who've learned to be happy alone? They have this quiet confidence about them. Not arrogance, not superiority, just a peaceful sense of knowing who they are and being okay with it. They don't need constant validation. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. They just are. Every person who's ever truly changed their life has had to face themselves in moments of solitude. Because that's where real change begins. In those quiet moments when we finally stop running from ourselves and start listening to what our heart has been trying to tell us all along. The world will always have opinions about how you should live, who you should be with, what you should be doing. But when you learn to be happy alone, those opinions lose their power over you. You develop an inner compass that's more reliable than any external validation could ever be. Being alone becomes a choice rather than a circumstance. It becomes something you sometimes choose because you value your own company, not something you endure because you have no other option. This shift in perspective changes everything. How you see yourself, how you relate to others, how you move through the world. The moment you stop seeing your own company as something to endure and start seeing it as something to enjoy, your whole world shifts. It's like turning a key in a lock you didn't even know was there. Suddenly, doors open to possibilities you never imagined. Think about how many choices you make every day based on what other people might think or say. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something you wanted to do because you'd have to do it alone? We limit ourselves in so many ways, all because we're afraid of being seen alone, of being judged, of being perceived as lonely. But here's what changes everything. When you start treating yourself like someone worth spending time with, other people start treating you that way too. It's not magic, it's energy. People can sense when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're at peace with your own company. That kind of inner peace is magnetic. You might be wondering what this looks like in real life. It's choosing to take yourself on adventures, big and small. It's booking that trip you've always wanted to take, even if no one can come with you. It's going to that concert, that museum, that new restaurant, not waiting for someone to join you, but because you want to experience it. The funny thing about happiness is that it's a lot like a mirror. It reflects back what you put into it. When you start investing in your relationship with yourself, when you start treating your alone time as valuable rather than empty space to be filled, something shifts. You start attracting people and experiences that match your energy, not your fears. But let's be real. This isn't always easy. There will be moments when the silence feels too loud, when the emptiness feels too empty, when the urge to reach for your phone or call someone, anyone, feels overwhelming. These moments aren't failures. They're opportunities to practice being your own best friend. The secret to being happy alone isn't about learning to need less connection. It's about learning to connect more deeply with yourself. It's about building such a rich inner life that solitude becomes as nourishing as good conversation, as exciting as shared adventures, as comforting as time spent with old friends. Every time you choose to face your fear of being alone, you get stronger. Every time you decide to enjoy your own company instead of distracting yourself from it, you grow. Every time you treat yourself with the same kindness you'd show a good friend, you heal. You're not meant to do everything alone, but you're meant to be enough for yourself. When you get this, really get this, you stop trying to fill your life with people and start filling it with purpose. You stop chasing relationships and start creating connections. You stop running from solitude and start seeing it as sacred. The truth is, you're the only person guaranteed to be with you for your entire life. Every other relationship might change, might end, might transform. But your relationship with yourself, that's the foundation everything else is built on. Make it strong. Make it loving. Make it something you can always come home to. This journey of learning to be happy alone isn't about reaching some final destination. It's about discovering that you've been carrying everything you need inside you all along. It's about realizing that alone doesn't mean lonely, that solitude can be sweet, and that the quiet moments might just be where you find your greatest strength. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to think about something that might change your life forever. Every moment you've spent wishing you weren't alone has been a moment you could have spent discovering how amazing your own company can be. Every time you felt that ache of loneliness, you've actually been standing at the doorway of an incredible opportunity, the chance to become your own best friend. You see, there's this beautiful thing that happens when you finally embrace being alone. The world opens up in ways you never expected. Colors seem brighter. Moments become richer. Simple pleasures take on new meaning. That cup of coffee in the morning becomes a meditation. That walk in the park becomes an adventure. That quiet evening at home becomes a chance to dream, to plan, to simply be. Think about how much energy we spend trying to avoid being alone. We stay in relationships that don't serve us. We fill our calendars with meaningless activities. We scroll through our phones until our eyes hurt. All because we're afraid of what might happen if we just stop, if we just let ourselves be. But here's what I've learned from watching countless people transform their relationship with solitude. The very things we're running from are often the things that will set us free. Those quiet moments we're so afraid of. They're like seeds waiting to bloom into the most beautiful gardens of self-discovery. When you learn to be happy alone, you develop this incredible superpower, the ability to find peace anywhere, anytime. You stop needing external validation to feel worthy. You stop requiring someone else's presence to feel complete. You become your own sanctuary. Remember this. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. When you learn to treat yourself with kindness, respect, and love, you naturally start attracting people who will do the same. When you stop seeing alone time as a punishment and start seeing it as a gift, the whole energy of your life shifts. You know what's amazing? The moments when you finally get it, when you realize that being alone doesn't mean being lonely, when you discover that solitude can be as sweet as honey, as refreshing as rain, as peaceful as a sunrise. These moments don't come all at once. They sneak up on you, like stars appearing in the evening sky, one by one, until suddenly you look up and realize the whole night is shining. Your journey to finding happiness in solitude isn't about becoming a hermit or cutting yourself off from others. It's about building such a strong foundation within yourself that you can cherish both your alone time and your connections with others. It's about becoming so comfortable in your own skin that you can move through life with grace. Whether you're in a crowd or completely alone, start small. Next time you're alone, instead of reaching for your phone, reach inward. Ask yourself what you really want in this moment, not what social media tells you to want, not what your family expects you to want, not what society says you should want. What do you want? The answer might surprise you. You might discover that what you really want is different from what you've been chasing. You might find that the peace you've been seeking has been within you all along, waiting patiently for you to notice it. Every single person in this room has the capacity to be gloriously, radiantly happy alone. Not because being alone is better than being with others, but because true happiness isn't dependent on external circumstances. It's something you cultivate within yourself, like a garden that keeps blooming no matter what season it is. As you leave here today, I want you to remember something. You are complete just as you are. Your worth isn't determined by your relationship status. Your happiness isn't dependent on having someone by your side. Your life doesn't start when you find the right person. It's happening right now, in this moment. The next time you find yourself alone, instead of trying to fill the silence, lean into it. Instead of trying to escape the solitude, embrace it. Listen to what your heart has been trying to tell you. Pay attention to the dreams that surface when you're not distracted by others' opinions and expectations. You are not just enough. You are abundance itself. You are not just complete, you are overflowing with potential. And that person you've been waiting for, that person you think will finally make you happy, they're already here. They're you. The greatest love story you'll ever experience is the one where you finally fall in love with yourself, where you discover that your own company is the most precious gift you could ever receive, where you realize that being alone isn't a waiting room for real life to begin. It's the stage where your most authentic self gets to shine. Take this moment right now to make a promise to yourself. Promise that you'll stop treating alone time as something to endure and start seeing it as something to cherish. Promise that you'll start treating yourself with the same kindness you show others. Promise that you'll begin this beautiful journey of discovering just how amazing your own company can be. Because in the end, the ability to be happy alone isn't just a skill. It's a superpower. It's the foundation upon which all other happiness is built. It's the key that unlocks the door to true freedom. And that key, it's been in your hands all along. Walk out of here today knowing that you're not just learning to be alone. You're learning to be free. Free from the fear of solitude. Free from the need for constant validation. Free from the belief that your happiness depends on anyone else. Your journey starts now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when everything is perfect. Right now, in this moment, exactly as you are. Thank you for opening your hearts and minds today. Remember, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. Make it beautiful. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today to talk about a subject that is close to my heart, a subject that I believe is of utmost importance to each and every one of us. That subject is the seriousness with which we approach our lives. Life, as we all know, is not a rehearsal. This is it. This is our one shot, our one opportunity to make a difference, to leave a legacy, to truly make our lives count. And yet, how often do we treat life as if it were a dress rehearsal for some grand performance in the future? How often do we say, I'll get serious about my life when I get that promotion, when I retire, when the kids leave home, the list of wins is endless. But here's the truth, is promised to no one. The only time we have, the only time we can be sure of is this moment right now. And it is in this moment that we must choose to take our lives seriously. Taking life seriously doesn't mean we can't have fun or enjoy the journey. On the contrary, it means we are fully engaged, fully committed to this incredible journey of life. It means we are not just passively drifting along, letting life happen to us. Instead, we are actively shaping our lives, making conscious choices about who we want to be, what we want to do, and what kind of impact we want to have. So we delve into this topic today. I invite you to open your minds and your hearts. I invite you to consider how you can start taking your life more seriously, starting right now. Because remember, this is not a rehearsal. This is your life. And it's time to start living it with purpose, with passion, and with seriousness. Time. It's the one resource we all have in equal measure. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you do, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And yet, it's the one resource we can never get back once it's gone. Think about it. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose a job and find another. You can even lose love and find it again. But time, once a moment is passed, it's gone forever. That's why time is our most valuable resource. So how do we make the most of this precious resource? By taking life seriously, by understanding that every moment is an opportunity, a chance to learn, to grow, to experience, to live. Too often, we squander our time on things that don't matter. We let the hours slip through our fingers, lost in the hustle and bustle of life. But what if we were to treat time with the respect it deserves? What if we were to truly value each and every moment? Imagine what we could achieve, the skills we could learn, the relationships we could build, the lives we could touch, all by simply taking our time seriously. So as we move forward, I challenge you to think about how you're spending your time. Are you using it wisely? Are you making the most of each and every moment? Remember, time waits for no one. So let's make it count. Let's talk about goals and ambitions. You see, having a serious approach to life means having a direction, a purpose. It means knowing where you're going and what you're striving for. It means having goals and ambitions. Now, I'm not just talking about financial goals or career ambitions, although those are important. I'm talking about goals for your personal growth, for your relationships, for your contribution to the world. You see, when you have clear goals, ambitions, you have a roadmap for your life. You have a reason to get up in the morning, a reason to push through challenges, a reason to keep going even when things get tough. But here's the thing. Goals and ambitions aren't just about the destination. They're about the journey. They're about who you become in the process of striving for them. They're about the skills you develop, the character you build, the people you meet along the way. So, I encourage you to think about your goals, ambitions. Just what do you want to achieve in your life? Who do you want to become? And most importantly, what steps are you taking every day to move closer to your goals? Remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So let's stop wishing and start planning. Let's start taking our lives seriously by setting clear, meaningful goals and working towards them every single day. Responsibility and accountability, two words that carry so much weight, two words that can truly transform your life if you choose to embrace them. You see, taking life seriously means accepting responsibility for your actions. It means understanding that you are the architect of your own life. It means realizing that your decisions, your actions, your choices, they all have consequences. And it's up to you to deal with those consequences. But responsibility is just the first step. The next step is accountability. Accountability means holding yourself to a standard. It means setting expectations for yourself and then doing everything in your power to meet those expectations. It means not making excuses, not blaming others, not playing the victim. It means owning up to your mistakes, learning from them, and then moving forward. Imagine what your life could be like if you truly embraced responsibility and accountability. Imagine the sense of control, the sense of empowerment, the sense of purpose you would feel. Imagine the respect you would command, the trust you would earn, the opportunities you would attract. So I challenge you to take responsibility for your life, to hold yourself accountable, to stop making excuses and start making progress. Because at the end of the day, the only person you are truly accountable to is yourself. And the only person who can truly change your life is you. Life is a journey, and like any journey, it's filled with challenges. These challenges can be daunting. They can make us question our abilities, our decisions, our worth. But here's the thing. Challenges are not roadblocks. They're not meant to stop us in our tracks. They're meant to help us grow. They're meant to make us stronger, wiser, better. You see, when we face a challenge, we have two choices. We can let it defeat us, or we can rise above it. We can let it define us, or we can define it. We can let it hold us back, or we can use it as a stepping stone to reach new heights. But overcoming challenges requires more than just determination. It requires a serious approach to life. It requires a willingness to take risks, to step out of our comfort zones, to push our limits. It requires a commitment to learning, to growing, to becoming the best version of ourselves. And yes, it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But here's the thing. The harder the challenge, the greater the reward. The greater the struggle, the sweeter the victory. So I challenge you to embrace the challenges that come your way. Don't run from them. Don't hide from them. Face them head on. Learn from them, grow from them, overcome them. Because at the end of the day, it's not the challenges we face that define us. It's how we respond to them. It's how we overcome them. And when we do, we'll find that we're not just surviving, we're thriving. We're not just living, we're truly alive. And that, my friends, is what it means to take life seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, we've embarked on a journey today, a journey of self-discovery, of growth, of transformation. We've talked about the importance of taking life seriously, of valuing our time, of setting and striving for goals, of embracing responsibility and accountability, and of overcoming challenges. But what does all this mean? What does it mean to take life seriously? It means to live with purpose, with intention, with passion. It means to make every moment count, to make every day matter. It means to strive for excellence, to strive for growth, to strive for fulfillment. It means to understand that life is not a dress rehearsal, that this is our one shot, our one opportunity to make a difference, to leave a legacy, to truly make our lives count. And it's up to us to seize that opportunity, to make the most of it, to live our lives to the fullest. So as we conclude our time together today, I want to leave you with a challenge to take your life seriously, a challenge to value your time, to set and strive for your goals, to embrace responsibility and accountability, and to face and overcome your challenges. But more than that, I challenge you to live, to truly live, to experience the joy, the pain, the triumph, the defeat, the love, the loss, the highs, the lows, to experience all that life has to offer. Because at the end of the day, that's what it means to take life seriously. It means to live. And so I leave you with this. Live with purpose, live with passion, live with seriousness, because this is your life, and it's time to start living.